everyone, it's Aylin. You know, it's been a few weeks since I've filmed anything just because there's been a lot going on for me lately. I've had some medical stuff come up for me and I've been dealing with that. I'm okay, but it has been kind of a tough few weeks, but I'm really excited to be back. That's basically why I missed an upload and I'm a bit behind and I don't know the exact schedule moving forward, but I'm just gonna try to make the videos and put them out when I can. But I have been thinking about something a lot over the last few weeks, and it all started, I guess, kind of a month ago when I went on a trip to Colorado. I went to Colorado Springs and went to the Garden of the Gods, which is this incredibly beautiful rock formation there. And we were going on these kind of light hikes in the area, and we eventually got up to this lookout. And I was with a small group and we looked out, and it was just so incredibly beautiful that we all just suddenly got quiet. There was this unspoken understanding that we were all just taking in that moment and looking at the view. And somehow I kind of feel like we all just got into this peaceful place in our minds and just were really soaking in the moment. It was just like this automatic human response. And after a little while, I kind of asked the group, like, why is it that humans are so drawn to views like this? Why is it that we just get up here and all our worries and our stressors and things going on in our lives just like dissipate? It's like nothing matters right now except for this view and being in this moment and this huge expanse of forest and mountain and just enjoying that. And, you know, I was kind of thinking about that, and I think there are a lot of different explanations people might come up with. You know, they might say it's an evolutionary psychology phenomenon that humans like to see land where there's a lot of vegetation and it's potentially a good place for settling. But I'm always hesitant to buy into evolutionary psychology arguments because ultimately often they're just logical arguments. They're not necessarily based on actual science, and they can actually be used to make pretty detrimental or dangerous arguments. So, I mean, it's a possibility that that's a factor. But I got to thinking about it more, and I realized that I actually think that there's something to being able to look out at a really big area and see really, really far, because it just puts everything in scale. And maybe there's an inherent gut reaction to good landscape, but I also think there's something to be said for cognitively what happens when we look out and we can see super far and see the beautiful landscape. It just puts everything into perspective, and it puts me in my place in the world. And it allows me to step away from all those immediate worries of my life and just be in the moment, because I'm separated from that. I'm far out. I'm able to only be in that moment and see as far as I can see. And of course, for me, I obviously take every little kind of observation I make and relate it back to minimalism, but I actually think that this phenomenon relates to minimalism, and that I feel like a lot of the time I've been doing minimalism the wrong way because I get so caught up in the little things, in the little declutters, whether to keep something or not, whether to buy something or not, if I'm being a good enough of a minimalist, what are new strategies to be a better minimalist, and all these kind of like little things I can be doing to be better. But really, when you step back and think about your life as a whole, when you look at the world and the universe as a whole, and you think about your place in it, it just allows you to kind of let go of all those little stressors and worries involved in minimalism. Because ultimately, I feel that minimalism is about those big picture values. I've talked about this before, but I guess somehow just putting in the context of that inherent human thing that we do when we see a beautiful view. And I think sometimes in those moments when I'm decluttering and I'm getting overwhelmed and I just don't know what to do about a certain thing, or I'm getting behind where I wanted to be in my declutters, I think it's important to step back and to think about moments like that, where you look at the big picture and you think about the things that really matter more in life. So I don't know, I just wonder if you too can think to yourself of a time when you were really lost in the moment, when you looked out at a view or had an experience where you just were put in context. Scale was made apparent to you about your place in the world. And I think being able to hearken back to that image and being able to think about that big picture can really help us be more in the moment and not get so overwhelmed, and really be able to just clarify our priorities in life and really figure out, what do I want to be spending my time on? What is important to me? Maybe it's okay to slow down a little bit. And I just think taking context with our lives rather than just living our lives at a fast pace, I think can just bring clarity that helps with the process of decluttering, minimizing, and then ultimately just living according to our values. And I feel like it's almost like mindfulness or meditation, the ability to step back from the moment and to see it from the outside, to objectively just look at what's happening non-judgmentally and to experience it. And I think injecting that kind of attitude into declutters, into coping with stuff, and always keeping a connection to the bigger picture of why you're pursuing this goal, what it means to you, what's important to you, can help fuel you and keep you going with minimalism. And I think even now, I still get stuck sometimes when I'm doing declutters and I'm just kind of going through stuff and I feel anxiety for not having used something enough, or I feel anxiety about how I'm going to get rid of it, or I just don't have the time I wanted to go through the stuff I wanted to go through, and I get behind on the process. I think just remembering the big picture and placing minimalism in the context of that allows me to, first of all, kind of relax a little bit, feel more positive, but then also go into minimalism with a new sense of self and a new energy. So I know this video was very simple, straightforward, and we've all had those moments where we look at a great view and are blown away by it. It's nothing new or groundbreaking. But I think thinking about how to apply this big picture thinking and this like zoom out thinking to the everyday bumps in the road that minimalism can sometimes create can really put everything in context and just help you keep going with it. And to me, that's really how I want to look at minimalism going forward. I want to think about the big picture and not get so wound up by the little things. If you want to see more videos on minimalism and these sorts of topics, please hit the subscribe button below. I'm trying to build a little bit of a community, and if you ended up liking the video, hit the thumbs up button. It really helps support me and the channel. That's really all I've got for you, but thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye.